a teacher and coach at West Ashley High School. We extend our deepest sympathy to their families, loved ones, and school communities during this difficult time. Thank you. Thank you. And now we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Up next, item 1C, adoption of agenda and consent agenda items. Motion to adopt them.
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Up next, I want to group together items D, E, and F for approval of the minutes for motion December 8th, 2025, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes for December 8th, 2025, Board meeting minutes, and approval of January 12th, 2026, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, concerns? Let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next up is our special recognizations. Ms. Anita?
Thank you so much, Mrs. Bailey. I'd like to turn it over to Andy Pruitt.
Good evening, everyone. Board of Trustees members, district leaders and staff, and community members. Tonight, we are celebrating Team 9623W, also known as the Lucky Charms, the West Ashley Center for Advanced Studies VEX Robotics competition team. Come on into the center, gentlemen. At the Carolina Countdown Signature event held in Greenville last month, this team accomplished something truly remarkable. Competing against more than 80 high school teams from across the country and Canada, they didn't just participate, they dominated. They achieved a 96-point autonomous skills score, breaking the previous world record of 91 points and placing first overall in autonomous skills at the event. This achievement moved him into the top 10 teams in the world in a competition with over 22,000 teams globally. That is nothing short of exceptional. Throughout this season, Team 9623W has maintained the highest win rate of any team in our state, earning 4 major tournament championships along with design and excellence awards. And as a program, they have qualified for the VEX Robotics World Championships 8 of the past 9 years, and their journey is not over yet. In the coming months, they'll compete in the South Carolina State Championship, the VRC Create US Open in Iowa, and the VEX Robotics World Championship in St. Louis. So let's give a round of applause to Team 9623W.
And of course, behind every great group of guys is a great teacher. Mr. Holmes, we want to thank you for your wonderful service. And behind all great teachers that is a great principal, better than average right here. Dale Metzger. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Let's give him one more round of applause.
She's still.
Thank you to parents. We're glad you're here.
For our next recognition, we'd like to call up Mr. Mike, as he is known, for our 212-degree award winner. And if anyone else is here with Mr. Mike, they are more than welcome to come up as well. This nomination, submitted on behalf of the entire sixth grade Thomas C. Carrió Middle School team, recognizes Michael Green, affectionately known as Mr. Mike, as a true 212-degree difference maker. A cherished member of Carrió's school family, he takes great pride in his work, going above and beyond each day to create a clean, welcoming, and safe cafeteria for students. Even more impactful is his care he shows our children, always offering encouragement, a smile, or a kind word when it's needed most. In addition to his work at Carrió, Mr. Mike is also a dedicated bus driver, and many of our sixth grade families finally remember him from their elementary school years in our school community, making him a Carrió celebrity among students. Driving more than 2 hours each day to serve Carrió Middle School and other schools in the district, Mr. Mike's positivity, reliability, and commitment truly embody the power of 1 degree. Mr. Mike, we congratulate and salute you.
We're going to ask Mr. Lynch. Mr. Lynch supervises transportation services here in Charleston County School District. That's a great, glorious job, isn't it, Mr. Lynch?
Wonderful.
I know it is. Would you like to say something about Mr. Mike?
I would love to. First and foremost, I would love to have 400 Mr. Mikes. To find somebody that's willing to drive 2 hours one way to come serve our community, not just as a bus driver, but also in the cafeteria, but not just come and serve, but also to form a bond with students. Somebody that kids look up to, respect. It's a role model. We're proud of you. I'm thankful for you, and I wish I had, again, 400 more of you. Appreciate your service.
Oh, and I think we have some folks here. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up, little babies. This is why we have board meetings. Kids, come on. Mr. Pruitt will make you go through the door. You could have just come up the side. I break the rules, though. Mr. Mike, you recognize these little folks?
Yeah.
Annabelle.
One of the set of twins that I have on my route. I think I had about 5 set of twins. I'm down to 3 now. I'm down to 3 now, but thank y'all for coming.
You have something for Mr. Do you want to say something about Mr. Mike?
He's the best driver in the world.
You know what? Meeting adjourned. Everybody go home. That's just fresh. All right. Let's take one more photo. Miss Jill, can you, hey, Joey, can you get in a picture with Mr. Mike? Princess, you want to come get in a photo? Of course you do. Come with your mama.
Right this way. Let's right this way. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. We're so glad you came. Bye.
I just want to say, this is why we do what we do in Charleston County. Up next is public comments. I'm going to read off policy. So everyone, when you come up, please be advised, no speaker may use the public comment session for personal or derogatory comments of any individual, to discuss personal matters, or to discuss matters otherwise private or confidential. Speakers are to discuss issues, not individuals. Issues addressed should reflect business that is before the board and/or is relevant to the district. The chairman or their designee is authorized to terminate any speaker's time who does not observe this policy. So thank you. Up first, it will be Anthony Bryant, then Emmanuel Ferguson, and Charlene Fitzwater. Please state your name and the topic that you're going to be speaking about. Thank you.
Anthony G. Bryant, President, AG Bryant Group, Inc., 2123 Cortland Avenue, Charleston, South Carolina, 29403. Intention of being here is under the Supreme Court of South Carolina Office of General Counsel, a complaint regarding, Senate Bill 76, enhanced penalties for gang memberships, street gang threshold from 5 to 3. And I submitted that information. We want to get notice to our community, in particular those in low to moderate income census tracts, that a lot of these things can take place at. So either it comes from the governor when he signs it, to the attorney general, to SLED, to you. Under the Department of Justice, you have components of prevention, as I said, on the curfew, which you did a great job with City of Charleston Police Department on that. I'm concerned about prevention, preventative maintenance. That comes with notice. So with appropriate notice, then you can proceed. When you drive your car, then what happens is you get a warning, a light, then they proceed to arrest you, right? So we're here for notice only, and to be respectful in terms of that. And I'm deeply concerned about that issue, especially I live downtown. I went to high school in the southern part of the city of North Charleston, and many of our kids will be affected by this. Through 3 kids on the street walking down the street, and then one get in trouble, all get in trouble, even their parent get in trouble. And so we want to make sure that we understand clearly this is a serious law. If it's that's on the state, it's on the governor, I understand that. But equal protection and due process is due to all of us. Equal protection and due process is due to everyone, irregardless of agency, irregardless of administration and or enforcement. So notice is required. Notice to be very high on this law. Especially in North Charleston, I went to high school at, in downtown where I live. I'm deeply concerned about this law affecting young people close to me. I see them every day. Thank you. Have a nice day. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Ferguson, and I'm an attorney here in Charleston, Ferguson Law and Mediation. I'm also an alumnus of West Ashley High School, so congratulations to the robotics team. Go Wildcats. I'm here to talk generally about South Carolina Code 59-25-460, which is the Teacher and Employment Dismissal Act. And this process, before, I actually interned for the Charleston County School Board. Before hearing officers, the board had to hear the appeals of teachers. And a law was passed that allowed that instead of the board appearing to hear those matters, they appointed a hearing officer. And the board selects those hearing officers so that it can rely on a neutral fact finder to conduct an evidentiary hearing, hear live testimony under oath, evaluate credibility and weigh the evidence, and issue written facts, conclusions of law, and makes a recommendation for you all to consider without you all having to appear and sit through a full day of testimony. That's not a formality. It's a safeguard that makes this process reliable. In a case where credibility and context matter, the hearing officer is the only person who actually saw and heard the witnesses in real time. And they do what they're supposed to do. They issue facts and recommendations and conclusions of law for you all to consider, so you can look at that report and make your decision about that recommendation. I would ask this board to consider any hearing officer's opinions and recommendations whenever it makes those decisions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
And this is not my phone.
Peace to all. I'm Dr. Shar Fitzwater. Good to see you this evening. Formation of the Charleston County School District Education Foundation has tremendous potential to strengthen our learning environment and advance the district's strategic objectives. The Low Country Literacy Project's partnership with the district is a type of program the foundation can inspire. As highlighted in local news coverage, the partnership has already produced measurable gains in student learning and meaningful professional benefits for educators for our schools. There are 4 of them that are doing it already. I'm grateful for the bylaws the board unanimously approved in October. They clearly state the foundation's purpose is to support schools directly managed by the district for purposes aligned with the district's goals. At this critical juncture, I urge the board to ensure the foundation is created exactly aligned with the bylaws you approved. For example, please do not use language such as including but not limited to in defining the foundation's purpose or activities. You eliminated that phrase from the bylaws. It creates an overly broad scope and opens the door to any activity permissible for a nonprofit. Transparency is essential to maintaining public trust. Please launch this foundation in a manner that is transparent, faithful to the bylaws, and positioned for broad community support. I have one more question/observation. The Meeting Street Memorandum of Understanding was discussed in the Audit and Finance executive session and is being discussed tonight. I just wonder if there's anything that should be publicly available before you act on it for feedback and other things. Thank you for all you do for our students. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. And up next is Andy Massey and Roger Michael.
Good evening. My name is Andy Massey. I'm a constituent of District 9. I have consistently expressed concerns related to the timing of events surrounding the Education Foundation's formation, particularly regarding the Articles of Incorporation, which, if conflict arises, will supersede the bylaws. While I recognize that the CCSD Education Foundation Board be established prior to submitting these articles, I urge the school board to publicly review and approve the Articles of Incorporation before submission, with particular attention to purpose. This step is essential to ensure that the Articles of Incorporation remain strictly aligned with the approved bylaws. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And according to policy, the superintendent has the right to make any comments after we're done, so go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Roger Michael, and I serve as the principal at Meeting Street Brentwood. Thank you to the board. Thank you to the district leaders for your partnership and the work that you guys have done alongside of us at Meeting Street, Brentwood, and Burns. I have the great privilege of speaking on behalf of both of our campuses today, where we're serving nearly 700 students alongside of their families and the community. Meeting Street Schools, we're excited that we are partners with the Excellence in Teaching Awards, along with the Meeting Street Scholarship Funds, which many of our students and or staff also benefit from across the school district. Y'all, I want to emphasize our partnership. Public Schools of Innovation creates the space for us to do the great work that we do with our students, but do it in a model that is flexible, allowing us to serve our neighborhoods alongside of our communities and alongside of the school district. If there's one thing you guys take away from this message today, I want you guys to know that our partnership, our students, they are learning and that we are doing great work, and it's because of the fact that we are doing this work alongside of you guys. Our model: Yeah, we have high expectations for our students. Many of you guys came and you guys walked our classrooms. You saw the work that we're doing alongside of our students. You see that we're focused on excellence. We're focused on character with our students. Our principals and our assistant principals are inside of the classroom every single day, coaching our teachers to make sure that they're providing high quality instruction for our students every day. We embrace phonics and the science of reading to increase reading proficiency. Teachers are supported with real-time feedback and professional development. We have clear and ambitious goals. We want to make sure that we get to excellence in our report card. We want to make sure that we are focused on the progress moving forward and that we continue this great partnership with you guys moving forward. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent Huggins, would you like to respond to any of the comments?
Ms. Bailey, I don't think anything more is follow-up. Thank you. We certainly appreciate those who come and speak.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, up next, we have, do we have any online comments? No. With that being said, we'll move on to the next item. The next item is 4, convene executive session. Is there a motion to convene into executive session to consider a legal briefing, personal matter involving a teacher appeal, contractual matter involving the Meeting Street Schools MOU, and legal advice involving College of Charleston? Action may or may not be taken in executive session. So, thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 We will be moving into executive session. Thank you. session. So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have one action item. For item 5, I believe it's 5C, motion to uphold the district's decision for item 5C. Teacher appeal. Okay, oh. Yeah. This motion to uphold the district's decision for item 7B. Do I have a, who seconded? Ms. Carroll seconded. Okay, we want a verbal vote? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion carries. Item up next is item 8A, strategic education.
And I go ahead and pass this on to Dr. Clamp.
Yes, sure. Good evening, board members. We're excited tonight to bring forward to you some information associated to our board monitoring report for the fall 2025 kindergarten readiness assessment, or as we call it, KRA. Just as a reminder, it's a research-based assessment that measures how prepared our students are in entering kindergarten across multiple domains: language and literacy, mathematics, physical development, and social foundations. And to support the board in monitoring, it allows us to have information about our early learning outcomes and the effectiveness of these investments as a district. Tonight, we'll have Ms. Roberts and Ms. Foxworth will be bringing forward some information, really exciting results to share with you, both about the preparedness and the investment, and we'll answer any questions that you might have. Ms. Roberts?
Thank you, Dr. Clamp. If we could go to the advance to the next slide, please. So this first slide shows overall KRA outcomes for all kindergarten students who were assessed in the fall. District-wide, 54.2% of our students are entering kindergarten ready, which represents an increase of 0.7 percentage points from the previous year. Another 26.6% of students are approaching readiness, which is also an increase of 1.4 percentage points. Most notably, the percentage of students that are classified as emerging is decreasing by 2.2 percentage points to 19.1%. This is a notable shift, and it indicates that more of our students are entering kindergarten closer to readiness benchmarks, and fewer students are entering significantly behind. You can advance. So this next slide examines average overall KRA scores and performance across each of the subtests that are administered. So we're seeing increases across every domain: language and literacy, mathematics, physical well-being and motor development, as well as social foundations. So the key takeaway here is that improvement is broad-based. It's not limited to a single area. This suggests that we're seeing systemic progress rather than isolated gains. So this slide focuses on our weighted student funding groups, which include our pupils in poverty, multilingual learners, and also our students with disabilities. Across these three groups, we see growth in the percentages of students who are ready or approaching readiness, with corresponding declines in emerging readiness. So while these opportunity gaps remain, our trends are moving in the right direction. And from a monitoring standpoint, this does suggest that targeted funding and supports are contributing to improved early outcomes for our students with the greatest needs. So this particular slide actually highlights KRA outcomes for students who participated in CCSD pre-K programs specifically. So of our CCSD pre-K participants, 52% entered kindergarten ready, 29.5% were approaching readiness, and 18.5% were emerging. So when we compare this to district averages, Pre-K participants are more likely to enter kindergarten at or at least near readiness and less likely to enter significantly behind. This provides evidence that our district pre-K programming is positively impacting kindergarten readiness for our students who participate. This next slide actually compares our kindergarten readiness for students who attended pre-K with those who did not across our weighted student funding groups. So for pupils in poverty and multilingual learners, pre-K participation is associated with higher readiness and fewer students entering at the emerging level. For our students with disabilities, pre-K participants do show lower readiness and higher emerging rates. This does not necessarily indicate lower effectiveness, but rather it reflects earlier identification of learning needs and enrollment of students who are in the higher support needs. In other words, because pre-K programming relies on screening and ongoing observation, disabilities can often be identified earlier for those students who are in pre-K rather than those students who do not attend pre-K. It allows us to more formally identify students before they enter kindergarten. So pre-K's primary goal for our students with disabilities is early identification and access to services, not immediate readiness scores. So overall, the data shows that pre-K is working as intended by improving our readiness and ensuring early support for our students who need it the most. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Foxworth.
All right. So this slide outlines the instructional system supporting pre-K success across the district. What you're going to notice is that a lot of the strategies I'm going to highlight are things that we're doing district-wide across all grade levels. So stronger professional learning communities. More schools have focused on an intentional inclusion of CD teaching teams in the PLC and DDI cycles. We now, over the last couple of years, have formalized our formative assessment requirement in addition to our summative assessment, which is my IGDs. Schools and district teams are providing direct feedback through our Grow platform to ensure that instruction is of high standard. Whole child instruction. This instruction is grounded in the South Carolina Early Learning Standards. These standards address all domains of development, including social emotional development, language, literacy, mathematical thinking, cognitive, and others. Intentional literacy instruction, our teachers have really gotten really good at the focus on intentional letter sound instruction. We do a cyclical approach to letters and sounds so that by the end of the year, they've had multiple exposures to a lot of letters and sounds, so they enter kindergarten with the necessary phonemic awareness skills. And then our early learning program provides a continuum of services from the least to the most restrictive environment based on the child's individual education plan. And we're very intentional in our collaboration with the Department of Exceptional Children in the professional development that we provide teachers so they are able to support all students. Next slide, please. And so the last slide is just really that in addition, what makes a good early childhood program is not only what's in the classroom, but a community that supports it. And so the final slide highlights the role of our community partnerships in early learning. The partnerships provide resources such as school supplies, attendance support, literacy volunteers, family assistance, mentorships, and professional development for childcare providers. And that's what I want to spend 1 minute on, is that over the last 2 years, we have provided professional development for our community childcare providers for kindergarten success. It's essential that children that are served, whether they're in our community provider or private early childhood program, that they have the same foundational skills that they're getting in our pre-K program, so that wherever they come from, they enter the school ready, kindergarten ready to succeed. To address this, we've prioritized outreach to our community partners. Over the last year and a half, we've had an average attendance of 18 providers over 7 sessions. This collaboration encourages more consistent level of readiness across the entire district and county. While instructional outcomes remain our responsibility, we need partners to make sure all children are ready. And in closing, the fall 2025 KRA data shows measurable improvement in kindergarten readiness. It shows strong evidence for our pre-K programs and positive momentum toward equitable early learning outcomes. We're available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Roberts and Ms. Foxworthy. Any questions from the trustees?
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, my question is the scores, the test scores from the pre-K, the 3-year-olds, do they go with them to CD? Or to when they move over from Head Start? Whatever their test scores are that they have there, they take them with them to CD, and when they go to CD, they go to, those test scores go with them to kindergarten?
So a couple things. We do a different assessment in 3K. We use what's called GOLD, which is more of an anecdotal. However, all of our Head Start children, we screen those students in the spring in the school so their parents don't have to have a separate appointment. And so those test scores do go to the schools. We also do a transition form between our CD specifically and our Head Start specifically in our CD that gives not only the test scores, but it gives some highlights of how they've done on GOLD. It also provides some information on how their parents were engaged, any behavior information. So we are working harder every year to be more intentional about that transition. And then in terms of CD to K, we're working on strengthening that transition, particularly if they're at the same school. You know, ideally, you'd like to be from Head Start all the way to CD, kindergarten at the same school, so teachers can meet with each other and they can learn more about the student and the family
Okay.
going up the course.
And my last question was, the school that the kids start at in Head Start, they come from different areas in the district. Are they afforded that opportunity to stay at that school, or do they have to go to the school that they're zoned for?
That's a great question. We do work with every family. We have a process, if they would like to stay at their Head Start school, as long as there's space available, we can make that happen. That happens a lot at Mary Ford. A lot of the Mary Ford kids, they don't live in that zone, but they want to stay because of all the parental supports. But we do have a system as long as after the neighborhood kids get in. But a lot of the families want to go to their home school because either they have siblings there or they want the access to bus transportation.
Okay, thank you.
Right, Ms. Watley,
I don't have anything.
Mr. Hollenshed, Ms. Jewett.
I was just looking at the data, and my only question is kind of the emerging seems to decrease. Can you speak to that? Is it in almost every category?
That's actually exactly what we want to see, is the emerging decreasing, because that means that kids are lagging behind where we would like them to be when they enter.
And this analysis is year over year. It's this year last year. And then is there data from previous years?
So it's a comparison from the previous year to this current school year.
Okay. Is there data from previous years?
We actually track that data. Well, I don't know how many years we have. We have a lot of data. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Grabowski.
Ms. Robertson? I think I want to stay right where Ms. Jewett is. That was my question. Are we improving year over year?
We are seeing improvements over time. Our most recent data, of course, shows that. And I think the exciting thing about this data is seeing that those improvements are, again, I think it was slide 3, where you're seeing across the different domains. We're not seeing just in certain areas. We're seeing that across the entire assessment. And we can provide the other data too. If you'd like more, multiple years, I'm happy to pull that together for you.
What's really great is that we expect with the expansion of pre-K to 3s and 4s starting on the peninsula, that we'll see these rates improve, especially as we get it to more kids. That's exactly right, Dr. Clamp. No, I heard you down here. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm not done. What actually constitutes acceptable progress?
So, I mean, that's a great question. So I think, well, as far as we're concerned, no amount of progress is ever enough. I mean, we certainly want to continue improving outcomes for kids and making sure that more of our kids are not just approaching, but in that readiness category. But any amount of progress at this time when we have not been able to implement or ensure that every single child is in a pre-K program, I think is positive. And we really look at the pre-K programming assessments other than just KRA. This is only one of those assessments that we use to gauge how our pre-K programming is working. I don't know if Ms. Foxworth wants to add anything.
I think it's exactly what Ms. Jewett was saying. We want to see every year that more kids are demonstrating, more of our pre-K specific kids, because our kids who come into our pre-K program, specifically the CD program, already come in with some, they're identified, they're prioritized to get into our CD program with some kind of academic need or social need. So what I'm looking for every time the KRA data is done and we get to look at the data, do I have more and more kids on the demonstrating and less in the emerging?
Yeah, I guess that leads me to my next question. Is there a percentage? What percentage of students should be kindergarten ready?
Yeah, we'd like 100%. The state doesn't give us, like, they're looking for a certain thing. I mean, anytime, I guess, mathematically, you'd probably want to see, we want to get to the 60s and 70%, so we are creeping up there.
But I will say what we have seen in the past is, as far as in the state, we do typically score relatively high as opposed to some of the other districts. We don't have that data right now for the fall yet, but we can certainly provide that when it's available.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a board expectation?
KRA? No, ma'am, we do not have a specific board goal for that particular assessment, but we do utilize that as a district to help us measure how we're doing in pre-K programming. It's one of the measures.
All right, thank you. Ms. McKinney, are you there? Do you have any questions, Ms. McKinney?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. On the audit and finance, 9A, 2023-2028 capital program, phase 5 sales tax, capital maintenance budget reallocation. Mr. Prentice?
I will gladly yield to Mr. Burley for both of these items as they're both reallocations within his area.
Mr. Hamer is on Zoom. Would you like me to cover Mr. Hamer, or you got it?
You can go ahead and cover and I'll jump in if there are any questions, sir.
Roger that. So the first item is a reallocation of sales tax capital maintenance budget phase 5. It's taking, sweeping up remaining funds from projects that have been completed or shifting a couple projects to the right that are needing to be done now, 21 projects total, to fund 4 necessary projects.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
I just have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hamer, are these projects off of the master project list that we received in February? Or are these like emergency projects?
Well, these are the sales tax projects. So these are part of the sales tax program. That's the 6-year program that's been approved for several years. So these are projects that were approved, but different from the FCO projects that were approved in February. We do have a reallocation for that, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, but this is a separate funding process for these projects.
And if I can add to that, so the projects themselves are cabinetry, elevator, lighting. That's the project. Those are already approved by the board. The tasks themselves that are listed are emerging.
Okay.
And need to be done now.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Temple?
I'm fine.
Ms. Watley?
I'm good.
Mr. Hollenshed? Ms. Hewitt? Mr. Grabowski? Ms. McKinney, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, with that being said, the motion on the floor is to approve that reallocation of funds as shown on the attached resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, we're gonna do a verbal voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. On to item 9B, the fixed cost of ownership, FCO FY 26 budget reallocation.
Yes, ma'am. So that is a reallocation of FCO for this year, and it's two primary items. One is to take the St. John's Culinary Arts project. We're putting that into two phases. We're not able to execute the second phase of that this year. We're taking those funds from phase two and allocating it to other FM projects. We will fund the second half of St. John's out of FM next FCO. So we'll get that done completely the following year. We weren't able to execute it this year. And then the second smaller amount was to take funds out of playground contingency and move that to Stone Oak Park's playground.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
I have a question.
I'm gonna start down here, Mr. Grabowski. Okay, Ms. Jewett?
No.
Mr. Hollenshed? Ms. Watley? Ms. Michelle? Ms.
Ms.
Um,
Barori, is the next FCO next month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Temple? Ms. McKinney?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the motion is to approve the reallocation of funds as shown on the attached resolution.
A second.
Okay, another voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, the motion carries. Okay, on to item number 10, policy.
Thank you, Mrs. Bailey. I'm going to turn this over very quickly to Mr. Prentice and Dr. Clamp and Mrs. Thompson. Mrs. Thompson, you want to just give an overview? I think these have already passed first reading, but we brought them back. Could you explain why we brought them back?
Absolutely. Good evening. So as Ms. Huggins just said, these did pass first reading, but we noticed sort of a scrivener's error in two of the policies that were presented, and that was IJNDB and IJKA. Both of those policies made reference to an obsolete policy that's no longer on our books. It was about the purchase of software, kind of complying with the overall kind of making sure that everything was purchased consistently, but that policy was repealed several years ago. So in policy IJNDB and IJKA, we took out the reference to that policy itself and just inserted language that it would be in line with the district's purchasing of software, or procedures for the purchase of software. So sort of a scrivener's error, but we wanted to make sure that you all understood what had happened there.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions? Ms. Temple? Ms. Robeson?
No.
Ms. Lieber? Ms. Watley? Mr. Hollenshed? Ms. Jewett? Mr. Grabowski? Okay. Okay, Ms. McKinney?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so the motion is to approve GBEBD, acceptable use of technology, the revisions for IJNDB, technology acceptable use, and IJKA, technology resource selection and adoption to include generative artificial intelligence for second reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? No, no opposition, the motion passes.
Miss Trudy, you can, sorry.
Okay. No,
Miss Trudy had a question,
Oh,
actually.
go ahead.
was there a second on that motion?
Yeah,
That's what I was
she
gonna tell
seconded.
you, yeah.
Okay,
I have a question. We talked about the two, we didn't talk about GBEBD.
GBEBD.
We just talked about the two that were.
My apologies. We didn't recommend any changes after first reading for GBEBD.
So.
Sorry, I had to double check. Sorry.
This was on the consent agenda, but just out of the spirit of transparency, even though there were very minor errors, we felt like there was a change, so we should bring it back. But there were no changes, Mrs. Jewett, to GBEBD.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You to say.
And so item 10B, new policy. The AI literacy and acceptable use of generative artificial intelligence.
Ms. Thompson?
This was, we incorporated the changes after you all gave feedback from the first time that we brought this forward. We incorporated your changes, brought them to the outside consultant, let them kind of review and distill all the information. And so the staff suggestions, that was what you all voted on at the last reading, but it was printed a little bit differently. We wanted to make 100% certain that you knew that what we were proposing was the document with the staff suggestions rather than the original version that didn't have your feedback in it just yet.
Okay, this is just an updated version,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in the spirit of transparency, Ms. Bailey, we wanted to make sure the board was clear versus putting this on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mel.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Okay,
you.
so the motion is to approve policy XXXX, AI literacy and acceptable use of generative artificial intelligence for second reading. Do I get a second?
A second.
Okay. Let's do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, no opposition, it passes. Okay, on to item 11A. The CCSD Education Foundation Board of Director appointments. Mr. Frampton, do I go ahead and just call?
Yes, ma'am. I would call each board member by the district they represent and ask for their nominee. It would not require a second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, District 1 nominee, Mr. Grabowski.
Catherine Templeton.
Okay,
Then go ahead and vote on that nominee.
okay, we're gonna do a voice vote.
I think you needed to record these.
Are you gonna,
I would recommend that you record these.
okay, so how are we gonna,
So if you want to do a voice vote, Ms. Kyla can record them.
We do a roll call.
We'll just do a roll call, Mrs. Bailey. Ms.
Okay.
Kyla, will you record them? Help Trudy. Thank you.
okay, all in favor of this nominee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that nominee passes. District 2, your nominee, Ms. Jewett.
Jenny Strauss?
Okay, voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
That nominee passes. Okay, District 3 nominee,
That's my reason.
Mr. Hollenshed.
That's myself.
Oh, that's you, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's all good, Ms. Bailey. Ms. McKinney?
District 3 nominee Roger Jones.
Voice vote, aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, no opposition?
I
That-
did.
you
Aye,
said-
but- Oh,
you-
sorry.
You said
Nay.
aye. Oh. 1 nay. That nominee passes. District 4 nominee,
I nominate Fran Pulaski.
okay, voice vote,
Aye.
aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
It's 2 nays. Nominee passes. My District 5 nominee is Dr. Antoinette Biagi. Voice vote. Any for?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
1 nay. This nominee passes. District 6 nominee,
My nominee is Lee Runyon.
voice vote. All 4, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
2 opposed. This nominee passes. We don't have a District 7 nominee yet. District 8 nominee,
I nominate Dr. Brian McClure.
all four, say yay.
Aye.
Aye.
Or aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
You need a
Okay,
roll
you,
call.
if you said nay, raise your hand. If you said nay, raise your hand, so
Who's
she can get it.
nominee?
Brian McClure.
That's why you need to stop trying to talk to me.
No.
Did you get it?
That's me.
Oh, this is all the nays?
4 to 5.
Ms. McKinney, what was your vote?
4. She's.
Nay.
Arlene.
So, okay, so this nominee doesn't pass. And we do not have a District 9 nominee at this time.
Yeah, great.
Okay,
I have.
so
one-
how many, okay, I can't see. How many nominees did we have pass?
I think everybody's but Darlington's, Roberson's.
6 nominees have been passed, and the ones that haven't been nominated yet will be in the February board meeting. Okay,
Excuse me. This is really, weird. I get an appointment. And so you all voted down my appointment.
I don't even know why we're voting on them. Except that I guess it's the bylaws, right?
So I am not going to go and find another appointment. I get an appointment according to the bylaws. You don't supersede the bylaws. I get an appointment. I will bring this appointment back again.
okay, Mr. Frampton, is that okay that she does that?
I get an
She can
appointment.
certainly bring the nominee back. I believe the bylaws say that each trustee will make a nomination to be approved by the board, I believe is what the bylaws say.
Okay,
Otherwise, there would not be any reason for voting.
any other questions or concerns?
I just wonder, why would you vote nay?
For somebody's
You know,
appointment.
than somebody you don't even know, just like we just had a discussion about Frank Kalaski, which you'll find out who he is real soon. Once he knows who voted against him. But the thing about it is that you, wait a minute.
No, go ahead,
let
go
me
ahead.
finish
No,
that
go ahead.
floor.
I just am gonna comment back to you.
But you leave it to that trustee to bring somebody forward in good faith to be brought before the board. And then you scrutinize that. That is ridiculous. But remember that y'all are running again and y'all gonna catch hell when you hear that stuff come up in your district. That's all I gotta say.
Well,
But nobody contacted, at least me, I can only speak for, nobody's contacted me about any of these people. I don't know, Mr. Gillespie.
well,
Well, that's
can
fine,
I
but
just?
you can't be mad if you didn't reach out to me and ask for my support.
Can I just say that all of the nominees are, their resumes were submitted for everybody's, review. And it is that board trustee's purview to vote however they choose, because that's in the bylaws. Okay,
On the nonpartisan board, correct?
I bet you
Nonpartisan.
one thing, you won't hear nothing coming out Pam McKinney's mouth, but she know who he is. Thank you.
well, thank you for your comments. Anybody else?
I don't know.
Ms. Watley, do you have anything? else?
I just, I'm sorry that I don't like being put in a position to vote against somebody's appointment. And I think that maybe we can look at the bylaws and if we get an appointment, then we should be able to just appoint them.
Well, you're saying that, but you voted yes for some appointments
I
and you
did.
voted no. So what you're saying is hypocritical.
No, it's
We can
not, and
move
you cut-
on
you cut
because
me
I'm
off.
going to bring the same name again. I
And I
get an
will vote no
appointment.
again.
And exactly, so you know what you're doing.
And
You
thank-
don't try to, fix it now. You know what you're
I'm
doing.
not trying to fix
You are
anything.
trying to fix
No,
it.
you cut me
I'm
off.
gonna bring the same name again,
And
and
I
what
will
I
vote
do
no
know,
again.
that's fine, Leah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
That's fine.
we don't have to argue. That's in your purview to
No,
bring
no,
your nominee
I get
back
an
again.
appointment, and my district will be represented on this educational foundation.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
that's just, so you all need to figure it out because my district will be represented.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Jewett?
Can we get the parliamentarian to give us information as to what exactly the bylaws say?
I do not have a copy of the bylaws in front of me.
I
If you do have them, that would be great. Be happy to.
There's an initial appointment, but it has to be approved by a majority of the board members.
That's what I thought it said. That's why voting was taking place.
While we're on the topic of the foundation,
Excuse me,
Point of
Ms.
order, this
Gagey,
isn't on the agenda.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
We have covered the agenda item. I move for
Correct.
adjournment.
Okay, one moment. Mr. Frampton is about to speak. He's looking over the bylaws, and I want to give him an opportunity to be heard. And then we'll adjourn because all of the consent items have been approved, correct?
We all.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The bylaws require that the
Mr.
Members.
Frampton is speaking. Yeah, we can't hear him.
members appointed by majority vote of the trustees.
Yeah. So maybe
But
we need
That's why the vote was taken. That was
Well,
my
and that's
reasoning.
why I made the point that maybe we need to change the bylaws.
yeah, maybe we need to
Okay,
change
well,
the bylaw.
we'll discuss that at another time. Motion to close, well, wait a minute. Upcoming meetings, Audit and Finance, February 4th, 2026. Committee of the Whole, February 9th, 2026. Board of Trustees meeting, February 23rd, 2026. Do I have a motion to adjourn the
So
meeting?
move.
So move?
So moved.
Seconded, third.
All right.